Batman!
I knew everyone would do it except for Colin. Hello. Yep. Welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast. I'm Dallas. And I firmly believe that the DC animated universe is the best connected universe in movies or television.
Hi, I'm Gabby, and I gotta agree with Dallas on that one.
I'm Colin, and I have no dog in this fight.
I'm me, and hi guys. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items. Today, we are doing a Fancast Friday because The Batman came out last week, and we just felt like casting some villains. Woo woo.
Whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop, whoop.
At the sound of the cops who don't do their jobs and catch these people in the first place.
Ooh. Before we get into all the fun, and yes, Colin, cops don't do their job. Before we get into the episode, please like, share, and subscribe, or a rich man dressed as a bat will beat you up for jaywalking. Also, since this is a Fancast Friday, if you're listening on Spotify and or Apple, don't know why it'd be both, head on over to YouTube where Demi has entered pictures of the characters and the actors that we're talking about. So if you're like, who the hell is that, Demi? Then you can look on YouTube and find out who she's talking about.
I was about to say, that's not going to happen today, but it might.
It might.
It might.
It might. You never know.
So, rules of the game. I mean, there's rules for us, obviously, which, as I said last time, have gotten more complicated because of the way the DC universe now works. If you are casting for the DCEU, do not cast anybody who is already in the DCEU. And if you are casting for Battinson's universe, don't cast anybody who's already been cast in the Battinson universe. That's all I got for y'all. I'm sorry. It's really confusing. It really is.
I mean, it's simple enough. Just don't cast
it's
people
simple,
who are in
but
the
it's not-
universe that you're casting for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
how many universes does DC have at this point?
A lot.
Like 15.
Because there's the DCEU, which is like the Snyder
standard.
movies.
Yeah.
And then there's Battinson, which is his own thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is separate from Joker.
Yes.
Yep.
So
which
3
is separate from the animated stuff.
Yep.
animated, like
Anything.
like
Harley
any of the
Quinn
animated
or-
movies.
Yeah. Or
Oh,
like
yeah, well,
the
that's-
Harley Quinn show. That's its own
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Separate from Doom Patrol, which is
thing.
separate from Titans, which is separate from the CW universe, which I think the Superman and Lois universe is also separate from the rest of the CW universe. I think the Black Lightning universe was separate from them as well, but I think that there was a
I thought
crisis
they were
recently.
all together.
There was
You want to talk about a crisis? It's us here having this conversation. What the fuck is this?
Colin with the zingers. I thought all the
I had
CW
to,
shows
I
were
had to throw him
connected.
the lob.
You did.
The CW shows weren't always connected.
Really?
So at first, Arrow and Flash were connected.
Yes.
Then Supergirl came in, but Supergirl took place on a different Earth, but it was still connected. It just
Yeah.
wasn't on the same
She was
Earth.
on the CBS Earth.
Yes. And then Black Lightning came in, and Black Lightning was also on a different Earth.
Goodness.
And then
That's segregation.
and then there's Legends of Tomorrow, which connected to Arrow and the Flash.
Yes.
And then, as I said, there was a crisis recently, I think last season, and I think that might have combined all the universes together within the CW world. I don't know. I don't watch the CW shows anymore.
Word.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did that. Connect everything. Connect
Anyway, let's recap our Batman villain fan cast that we did just a couple months ago. Dallas, you want to start?
That was a couple months ago? Goodness gracious.
I think so.
Yeah. I'm just going to go through my whole list and then you do yours and then Colin does his.
Yeah,
Or-
Colin's going to tell us who he
some
would have fan
variation.
casted had he been here.
Yeah, but he wasn't because I don't remember.
I don't remember. Dallas.
Batman people. Ra's al Ghul, Mark Dacascos, Talia al Ghul, Olivia Munn, Harvey Dent / Two-Face, James McAvoy, Bane, Los Alonso, Edward Nygma / Riddler, Jonathan Groff, and that's everybody.
Cool. So all of my casting choices were for the Battinson universe except for my Riddler, because obviously that universe already has a Riddler.
To clarify, all of mine were DCEU, in case that matters. Bet it doesn't.
All right, cool. So my Ra's al Ghul was Oded Fair. My Talia al Ghul was Sofia Boutella. My Harvey Dent / Two-Face is Daniel Kaluuya. My Bane is also Les Alonso.
Hey.
My Edward Nygma and Riddler / Riddler is Zachary Quinto. Colin, who would you have fan casted?
Hello, it's me. My Ra's al Ghul was also Oded Fair
Woo!
Ha!
because he's great. My Talia was Emerald Tubia.
Ooh!
Felt like Demi would like that.
I like that.
My Two-Face was Nikolai Coster-Waldau
Mm.
because I want to see him in more things. My Bane was Freddie Prinze Jr. because why not?
Interesting.
Honestly.
Wow.
Mans is buff.
Is he?
Bane is just buff, I think he's saying.
Well,
No, he's
Freddie
talking
Prinze
about
Jr.,
Freddie.
I think he is.
No,
I didn't know that.
He's tall at least.
he's
I think
decently in shape.
He could
could-
make himself big.
Fred from
I could
Scooby-Doo?
believe it. And then my Riddler was David Tennant.
Ooh, that's
That's a good one.
Ooh,
I've seen a lot
see.
of that. People really like him for
Ooh.
Riddler.
Well,
Yeah.
because I'm thinking, Purple Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he's already been
Put him in a suit.
Yeah, that
He's
Emerald.
scary.
That Emerald choice though. She would
I'm
actually be
surprised
really
you didn't
good
do
at that.
it.
Nah, I went for Sophia Boutella.
Hmm.
The thought crossed my mind, I think, though, at some point. Okay, set 2. You guys ready?
Let's do
Let's
it.
get it
Let's
cracking.
get into part 2. All right, so the first character on our list, Dr. Victor Freeze, aka Mr. Freeze, an accomplished cryogenicist whose wife has a fatal degenerative disease. Determined to save her, he's frozen her in suspended animation until he can find a cure. Dallas, who is your choice for Mr. Freeze?
So, like I always say every time we talk about Batman, I love Batman the Animated Series, and that's pretty much how I get my inspiration for all of these choices. And that show is the reason why Mr. Freeze is not goofy as hell, is the technical term. Because, they gave him a backstory and some actual development and character. And they got an Emmy for it, so shout out to that. So I needed someone who has a very good, stoicism, can portray that sadness, and who has a cool voice when it's modulated. So I picked James Spader. I love that dude's voice. Like the way he talks, especially in Age of Ultron,
Yep.
the way it sounds when it's modulated, he just brings that perfect energy of, I'm about my business, I will kill you.
Yeah, he's got that good level of casual menace
Mm-hmm.
that Victor Freeze I can see having.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to kill you, but I will if you get in my way.
And that's what I love when to me, I also did a rewatch of Batman the Animated Series and New Batman Adventures. And I was talking to Kayla about something I noticed is that most of the time, Mr. Freeze is not trying to kill Batman.
No.
Mr. Freeze is always going after somebody who's terrible. And Batman is just like, hey, don't kill him. And then Mr. Freeze is like, I'll kill you too, bro. If you get in my way, I will kill you. I'm not here to kill you, but move, nigga. So he's perfect. And James Spader is he's just kind of great. So that's my Victor Freeze.
Gabby, who you got?
I have two for Mr. Freeze.
Oh, look at you.
One that's a little silly and one that is more serious. Okay, so at first I was reminded of the Batman and Robin movie, and I was like, I want somebody that's a wrestler. And so I initially picked Big Nasty, aka Florian Montanel.
He's wrestling
'Cause he's a
adjacent.
gigantic man who's wrestling adjacent. He's a big guy. And also because I most recently saw him in Shang-Chi, and I was like, I know who he is.
That version, it's going to be Mr. Freeze who breaks Batman's back. Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was my sort of silly choice. But when I was like, okay, I want somebody more serious that can play a very stoic, a very sort of serious character that's going through some heavy family drama. And I chose Coleman Domingo based off of his character in Euphoria.
Yes.
Because he has been putting in some work. The little clips that I've seen from that show with him in it as Rue's sponsor.
Ali.
So I thought he could really evoke some heavy stoicism while also looking like a badass in a cool suit.
He plays a really good antagonist in Zola. He's super good in Zola. He's super good in everything he's in. But yeah, he's great in Euphoria. What really brought him to my attention was the Euphoria special that was about Rue's character. And then, when I saw him in Zola where he's playing a pimp, I was like, oh my God, no. I was like, this dude is scary if he wants to be.
That's perfect. You gotta be cold to be a pimp.
Yeah.
Cold as ice. Ha ha.
Also, Coleman Domingo is cool as ice. So.
Yeah, he's so cool.
He really is. I'm gonna ask a question that I know the answer to. Have any of you seen Candyman, the new one?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. Cool. He's in that, and he's
He
very good. And like you were saying, that kind of stoicism, he has that, and just the way he talks, you want to listen to him.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. At first I was silly, but then I was like, no, try to pick a serious one. And so that's why I chose Coleman. I think even though he's going to be in kind of this big bulky sort of silly suit, he could still make you listen and hear, and it would cut through the sort of silliness of the outfit and the character and really get to the more emotional and sort of sad parts of the character.
True. I like that.
Colin.
It's me. So Mr. Freeze is silly. I feel like there is no way around that just because he has ice powers in an ice suit and he's permanently icy and he can't be not icy or he'll die. That's silly as shit. But I figured if you're gonna have Mr. Freeze, I feel like I want him to be older and tired, and that explains why he's willing to kill Batman, because he just doesn't care anymore.
Fair.
So I chose Forrest Whitaker
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
because I feel like the man can do anything. Mr. Freeze has to have some weight behind what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're just not gonna care because you could just set him in a sauna. And, ooh, no, there he goes. It's just he's a silly man.
Or yank a wire out of his suit.
Right? He's so vulnerable at all times. It's amazing. But yeah, I feel like Forrest Whitaker has enough of that gravity that I might actually take Mr. Freeze seriously.
Interesting.
Might.
African Forrest Whitaker or American Forrest Whitaker?
I'm going to say American because I think the African would get really distracting if it wasn't.
Batman.
Yeah, see,
The Black Panther.
it works in Black Panther because
Of the
everything
setting?
else. Yeah, the
And
setting.
also, it's
and-
brief, right? He's not there the entire movie.
Right,
No,
but
no,
if
he
he's
be
like,
talking.
you know, you will be stripped
Well,
of your
The heat
parents.
of Gotham would be stripped away.
okay,
Stop
but
it.
now that brings up another question.
Stop it.
What's up?
American Forrest Whitaker or Star Wars Forrest Whitaker?
Yo.
Oh
Probably
no,
Star Warsy.
we're not doing more Gullet. We're not doing that.
Who's he in
like-
Star Wars?
He's in Rogue One.
He's
Yeah, he is.
some guy who hangs out with a monster or something, or there is a monster. I don't remember.
Booglet.
He sounds like he has never taken a drink of water in his life. It's very sad.
I mean, that might work for Mr.
He plays Saw Gerrera, who is possibly one of the greatest terrorists in all of Star Wars. Oh,
All right.
he has a really great storyline starting from the Clone Wars all the way to Rogue One. Or actually, he might be in Rebels too. Actually,
Here's a quick question about Mr. Freeze that is sort of relevant to something else we're covering.
okay,
Is the Iceberg Lounge cold enough that he could just like be in there?
I doubt that.
I think the ice is more aesthetic than functional
Shame.
because people just be in there, like with dresses. and
Right,
stuff.
like people
okay.
be in there.
They can't. That's terrible.
That's a shame.
But
Yeah.
also, people in other parts of the country can handle like 50-degree weather. Like we can't here, but
Gotham's
like
in New Jersey.
oh,
Right, Gotham
exactly.
is
It's very
just-
cold there.
It's not like New Jersey's not made of ice. Like it's
yeah,
cold.
you're right, but it's very cold there.
It's not Antarctica.
I don't think people in New Jersey just
It gets cold there.
walk
It
into the
gets, like,
freezer in a
negative-
cocktail dress and heels. Like, oh,
It
okay, I can
gets
chill
like
in here.
negative degrees there.
Do you think they hang
Doesn't
out
do that
outside
here.
though?
Nah, you're right. You're right.
See, then
Hey,
if
they
that's
go
the
in the
case, they
house.
definitely would not be sitting somewhere in just like a dress. Because if your legs get stuck to something and get frozen,
That's
good
it.
luck.
You're right.
It's a
you're right.
wrap.
Exactly. What you gonna do?
What if you spill a drink on yourself? It's over.
No, thank you.
Freeze
Anyway.
that? Never mind.
All right, we're gonna move
Freeze
on to
that
mine.
what, Dallas?
Well, Dallas.
Huh?
Speaking of that,
Yes.
so my choice for Mr. Freeze is Jamie Dornan, who is most well known for the 50 Shades series,
Ooh.
Belfast, and The Fall.
Interesting choice.
Yes, I know him best from Once Upon a Time, where his character
yeah.
was he was a pretty sensitive guy, and he was forced to do evil under duress
Ah.
because the evil queen had control of his heart, and if she crushed it, he would have died. So
Yee.
And then she.
and then she did.
Spoilers, fam. There.
I was so sad. I was like, no, I
Yeah,
love
that was
him.
like-
for that show, I think it's okay.
That was like 8 episodes into the
I
show.
know. I was
I
mad.
might
I
have
was like,
planned
I
to watch
love
it, Colin.
him, and then
Yeah.
nope, dead.
But yeah, so he played like, the sensitive, he could play the sensitive aspects of it
Yes.
where, his wife is dying. He's trying to save her, man. Like he's just trying to do the best he can.
Yeah.
But also he played a serial killer on this show called The Fall, which you
yeah.
can find
Ooh.
on Netflix. So he can do the villainy portion as well. He's not afraid to kill you. He's not afraid to do the stone cold. He's not afraid to do the stone cold, stoic, hard stuff either. So I think that he would pull it off. Also, he just starred in an Oscar-nominated film.
Belfast.
Oh yeah,
Belfast.
Belfast.
So clearly he's
He got range.
He's really good. He's got range. I think it would be funny to have Robert Pattinson, who's most well known from Twilight, and Jamie Dornan, who's most well known for the Twilight fan fiction 50 Shades of Grey, acting across from each other.
That would be hilarious.
It'd be hilarious. But also,
Yep.
Jamie used to be roommates with Robert Pattinson. So
Oh
it'd
yeah,
be-
didn't they have an epic flat? Like how many people were
it
in
was
there?
4 of them. It was Robert Pattinson, Jamie Dornan, Charlie Cox, and I think it might have been Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, it was Andrew Garfield, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is like an epic flat.
That's
Holy
an
moly.
epic flat of 4 really awesome English actors at the beginning of their careers.
You said they were
Why?
roommates?
They were all roommates, yeah.
Oh my God, they were roommates. Before we move on,
Yes.
somebody brought up a pimp earlier.
Yeah, I did.
Zola, yes. There's a famous pimp in American history called Iceberg Slim.
Oh my gosh.
So just like
Yeah.
the ice puns write themselves.
They do for this one. They really do. But also, I'm like, it's funny because Colin keeps saying how silly of a character Mr. Freeze is. And recently, Matt Reeves has come out and said that he would be interested in doing a take on Mr. Freeze to see if he could challenge himself to grounding that character. So I do want to see what
he's
he would
not
do.
silly in the show.
I know
Like,
he's not.
Also,
They've done
like
that.
he has a good reason to be doing all his silliness. So like sure the concept itself is like
Yeah, a popsicle man is a
popsicle
silly
man in a
concept.
suit.
But like
It's
the
a silly-
execution is rarely silly
Oh, yeah.
except for Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
So I feel like I would love to see Matt Reeves do that.
I
The
feel like-
version that we got in the animated.
Yeah, I feel
series.
like Matt Reeves would really pull the character out
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Colin.
I don't like. I feel like Mr. Freeze to me is like, I don't know. He kind of feels like, why would you need him to be in a movie? Because like, what is that movie gonna be? He can't be the main villain. You can't have Mr. Freeze be the main villain.
Why not?
Colin, they've made movies
What
with
is
him
his
as the main
plan
villain.
gonna be?
I don't.
No,
I'd have
not
to
if you want it to be
look up the
grounded.
movie.
I feel like I'm gonna freeze the whole city.
Like
Mm.
Nolan grounded or like Reeves grounded?
Well, either way,
like-
they're this Riddler doesn't look like Jim Carrey. He looks like the Zodiac killer, right? So
Okay,
it's
but
like,
Jim Carrey was even a more goofy version of what the Riddler is in the comics.
Sure. He was
Fair.
mad goofy.
But I'm just like, what is Mr. Like, what is he going to do to pose the big threat besides I'm gonna freeze things?
Well, that's what Matt Reeves' job is to figure out.
Yeah. I don't know.
Also, even if the stakes of
They don't
the
need to be
movie
high
aren't,
stakes.
I'm going to freeze
they
the
kind
whole
of do
world.
though for a Batman movie.
They don't. Like,
I feel like
Riddler
they
is
do.
Protecting
Mindhunter character.
one town.
like, if a guy is killing people, Batman has to stop that guy. The stakes don't have to be, I'm going to blow up the city. It could just be, I need to stop this killer.
Or I need to stop the mafia, which is what he does a lot.
Right. And a lot of these criminals are just, they're going to kill somebody. I got to stop them.
All right, next character, guys. We have Clayface. I have written down the Basil Carlo version of Clayface. So, a former actor who adopted the alias of a villain in one of his films. After learning he wouldn't be cast as the lead in a remake of one of his horror films, he began fatally wounding the cast and crew of the film. He regained his shape-shifting abilities from an illegal product called Renew. Dallas, who you got?
That's actually interesting, and it's kind of perfect for today because they remake everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I could definitely see that.
It would work so
Happening.
well, yeah.
Yeah, just to point out, for Batman the Animated Series, it was Matt Hagen. He was also an actor,
Mm-hmm.
and he became Clayface because Daggett, the guy that Ben Mendelsohn plays in Dark Knight Rises,
Yes.
is a scumbag and basically tortures him with these chemicals that change the whole composition of his body. It is horrifying. I remember watching it, and I was like, yo, this is for kids.
It's one of the first episodes you watch when you watch it on HBO Max.
Yeah, it's a lot. But either way, I like the backstory of being an actor. I picked someone who I think someone who's older is a good choice for this because there might be a reason they didn't pick you, bro. You old. So
It is a remake.
yeah, and there's a whole issue with ageism in Hollywood and you're too old for this, blah 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 blah. Anyway, I picked Ron Perlman.
Ooh,
Yo,
I do
that
love
was
Ron
one of
Perlman.
mine that was considered.
And part of the reason is because Ron Perlman voices Clayface in Batman the Animated Series.
That's true, and he's
Oh.
great.
He's so good at it. But I think, like I said, at Ron's big age, he's 71 years old, it's even more applicable.
Is he 71?
He's 71 years old
Holy smokes.
and is still doing it.
You know who I found out is that old recently? Is William Hurt? No, the guy he's in the. I think it's William Hurt. He was in Mythic Quest season 2, but he was also.
Oh, yeah, he's real old.
Yeah,
William Hurt has been
But-
old.
Yeah,
He looks
But-
old in the Marvel movie.
but not really to me.
He did look a lot older in Mythic Quest.
Yeah,
I was
they
like, oh, that's
made
William
him-
Hurt.
I'm like, they made him look old in Mythic Quest, but like in Marvel, at least they put some salt and pepper in his hair. But no, he's old. He's
Yeah,
like
he-
71.
Yeah, old man. Anyway, yeah, Ron's great. He has one of the best voices in the world, and I already know he can play this character. And also, I feel like a voice is important for this role because it's mostly gonna be,
Voice stuff, yeah.
yeah, like people don't look like that. He's a clay monster. So I think the voice is gonna be a big part of the performance. So Ron Perlman, he already did it, and he's still great.
I do want to
And now
add
he's
that
old. Let him do it
he
again.
is fantastic on Sons of Anarchy. If
Yeah.
anybody out there has ever seen Sons of Anarchy, such a good show. Love that show. I actually need to rewatch it. It's been years since I've watched that show.
I've never watched it, but I've heard good things.
It's a great show.
Has a dope cast.
Oh, the cast is amazing, and it's funny because I feel like most of those cast members weren't really well known until like recently,
No,
except for like Ron Perlman
maybe Ron. Yeah,
and Katie Segal.
right, Smart House.
Married with children.
Smart House.
Smart House.
Gabby, who did you choose, Gabby?
Okay, listen. This started as a silly answer,
I love it.
and then I was like, no, he can do it. He can fully do it. I
Cool.
believe in him.
Let's do it.
And it's Alan Tudyk. because
Oh, I get
because
it.
he
That is
plays
silly.
he already plays Clayface on the Harley Quinn show, and he plays a very silly, ridiculous Clayface that like
So silly.
is an actor, but like a horrible like community theater actor that like overdoes it with his backstory.
They
and
tried to poison Ivy. Such an idiot.
But like I know Alan Tudyk can do dramatic. I know he can. I want to see him do it. He hardly ever gets a chance to. I would love to see his take on a much more grounded version of Clayface.
He was good in iRobot, playing a robot.
Oh, that's true. He was great.
He's so good.
Yeah, DC really loves Alan Tudyk because I mean,
As they should.
Clayface. He's played Green Arrow, played the villain on Doom Patrol.
He played Superman once.
I believe it.
He's played a bunch. He's that guy when it comes to
DC
voices.
and Disney just be like, yo, bro, we need you real quick. DC just throws a random DC role at him, and Disney be like, hey, you want to play a random animal?
And he kills it like
Yeah,
every time.
Every time he
He's gonna be
plays
working
an
forever.
animal, I'm just like, why? Why are you paying him for this?
But he commits.
Because he's so good at
And
it.
he-
Because
probably a
he
real
is
easy check.
working.
I'm just like, what?
And it's probably a real easy check. And they can put Alan Tudyk in like the list of people that are going to be in the movie. And people are like, oh my God, it's Alan Tudyk? Yes.
Yeah, playing a chicken.
Yeah. That's the trick.
Playing the hell out of a chicken.
yeah.
Or playing did he play a capybara in Encanto?
I believe he did.
He did?
Yes.
I love that.
I saw his name in the cast list and was like, of course you played a capybara. What am?
Or was he the
Everybody
bird?
loves capybaras.
Oh no, he was
I think
the
he was the bird that
He was
hangs
the
out with,
toucan.
Mighty Beth.
Oh, he was? Okay,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Oh my
That
goodness.
makes more sense.
Anyway,
Colin, who'd you choose?
All right. So, not Matthew McConaughey. I don't know why I
Ah.
did that. Vibin. Because I also chose Ron Perlman.
Whoa!
I mean, Ron Perlman slaps.
he's so dope, right?
And also, like, I agree with you that if you choose someone older, then it could be like, you know, a washed up actor who, like, had his time in the sun and then now
Yeah.
nobody's picking him for roles. And it's like, okay, that might explain why he starts, you said, like, killing his co stars or whatever? Like,
It's not his co-stars. It's people working on the remake of the film.
yes, because
Like-
that's.
Also, for clarification,
So,
in
like,
the animated
producers?
series, he wasn't doing that. He
No, he
was
wasn't.
like trying to use this.
It was the Renew. It was an illegal like facial cosmetic.
Basically,
product.
yeah, it was something to like keep him looking good and you know,
young.
because he was Asian. He was down bad for it, and then he started getting involved with Daggett and his crime goons, and then they tortured him.
Oh
and
boy,
then
was an addict.
he became Clayface. But yeah, Ron Perlman could play both versions very well. And also, fun thing about Ron Perlman, he spends most of his time on Twitter just like yelling at conservatives who say dumb things and like calling out the alt-right and all that stuff. And I just love it. He's one of my favorite people to follow on Twitter. So shout out to Ron Perlman. But yeah, Colin, anything else?
Nah, he slaps.
He does. He does indeed.
Hey guys, I'm gonna break the mold, and I'm not gonna choose somebody who's already played Clayface before.
Ha mode. Clay.
I'm just kidding.
Huh?
Oh,
Huh?
hey.
I'm killing it today,
Look
guys.
at you.
I'm killing it. All right. So the actor that I chose for Clayface is Toby Kebbell, who's most well known for the Planet of the Apes series,
Oh,
Fantastic
yeah.
Four, and Servant, and a number of other things. I chose him because he works really well with Matt Reeves, as we've seen, because
Mhm.
he was in the Planet of the Apes series that Matt Reeves worked on. He's a great actor, and he really impressed me with one of the best episodes of Black Mirror that you could possibly watch.
Oh, the entire history of you.
I love that
It's
episode.
very good. It's so bleak.
It's definitely my top 3, but I think it might be. I'm never certain if San Junipero is the best episode or if the entire history of you is the best episode. But that was the first episode I ever saw of that show, and it
Okay.
was the one that made me go, I gotta watch this show. He's so good in that
sad.
episode. Because the plot twist at the end of it, though, is what really got me. I was like,
Mm.
this is so well written.
It's
Like,
very good, yeah.
for
And he
you
was
to
very
have
good at
me
it.
on this side of the fence for the longest time, and then with one moment you have me like switch teams, I was like, nah, bro, this is so good. But anyway, yeah, Toby Kebbell is amazing in that episode. It's like you said, Clayface is a character where you would mostly be using the voice. It would be a mostly CGI'd character
Mhm.
because it's Clay.
Right.
But just because it's CGI doesn't mean that mocap can't also be involved.
Of course.
And Toby Kebbell clearly has experience using mocap because he played some sort of monkey ape thing in the Planet of the Apes movie. I don't know what type of monkey he played. I just know that he's in it.
He wasn't. I want to say it's a chimp. I don't know.
I am about to
He's
rewatch those
An
movies, so I'll let you
aggressive
know.
ape.
Yeah. Let us know. In my imagination, some mocap would be involved so that you could keep Clayface expressive. And because Toby has experience from Planet of the Apes and from doing Warcraft as well.
Oh, he's in Warcraft?
Yeah, he's in Warcraft.
Nice, I didn't know that.
He would be a really good actor for this because he's got the experience to do both portions of it. You can be the actor portion, and you can also do the mocapped Clayface version as well.
Which I think definitely adds to the performance if you're the
Yeah.
one doing the motion and
Yep.
you're doing the voice. And he also mocapped Kong in Kong Skull Island.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he likes to play apes.
Yeah, the thing about Toby is that, like, when I think of mocap, obviously the first person you think of is Andy Serkis
Right.
because he's the master of mocap.
He's that dude.
But the second person who comes to mind is Toby Kebbell because he's done so much of it as well
Mhm.
and worked alongside Andy Serkis
Yeah.
doing mocap. So he's basically learned from the best on how to do mocap. So yeah, he was like an obvious choice in my opinion for Clayface. So my choice is Toby Kebbell.
I dig it. They should make an ape escape movie and just have Toby Kebbell mocap all the characters. I don't remember what that game is about.
He might need some help from Andy Serkis.
I think you capture apes. Colin, you're my video game guy. What do you do in Ape Escape? You
I don't
capture
know.
apes?
I have never played it.
You never play Ape Escape?
No.
Colin.
You're the one who brought it up. You should know what it is.
But I brought it up because you're my video game guy.
Hey
I
guys, we
figured
should
you'd
move on to the next character.
I was just waiting for you to get your thing. You ready?
Yeah,
Let's go.
so our next character is Pamela Isley, aka Poison Ivy, an eco-terrorist motivated by an obsession with plants, misandry, botany, and extremist environmentalism. She's a genius scientist intent on saving the natural world from the evils of man. Dallas, who you got?
I have 2 Poison Ivies,
So do I.
Ooh,
and it
Me
took
too.
me forever
me too.
to think of my second one.
Me too.
So yeah, let's talk about everyone's favorite sexual assailant, Poison Ivy.
You're not wrong, but
Keep in mind, I'm doing the DCEU. The DCEU is pretty fast and loose with how they handle some of the characters in relation to source material. I'm looking at you, Cassandra Cain, or whatever your name is.
in my opinion, you can always change that. You can always revert her back to what she is in the comics, but that's for another day.
Yes, that's a tall order, but yes, it can be done.
I mean, I told you what my idea was, and I think it would work very well. But continue.
Yeah. If they brought in Ivy, I could definitely see them doing basically like the deadpan version from the Harley Quinn show.
Mm-hmm.
So Lake Bell, because
Like,
oh
Bell
my
South.
God, she's so great in that
She's
show.
so good.
I love that version of Ivy so much. I think it's my favorite because I have a lot of problems with Poison Ivy. Remember,
That's a character.
everyone's favorite sexual assailant. Yes. I have so many issues with this character. But in the Harley Quinn show, I don't really have those issues because she's not really doing that. She's just kind of chilling. And, every once in a while, she's going to go crazy and kill some rich people because they're polluting or whatever.
She's
But
not that bad on Batman the Animated Series either.
Yeah, she
hot
is.
With the body.
I can't think of anything.
okay. So Ivy is problematic.
Yeah, well, all villains are problematic.
Right. But she's like everyone's favorite sexual assailant, problematic. The whole like kissing you to take control of you and then having you do everything that I want you to do.
Yeah, but I'm like,
is-
she doesn't do that in Batman the Animated Series, though, does she?
She does. But then also
I don't remember her doing it.
I might be conflating like the DC animated universe past that and like other cartoons and stuff.
So far, I
But
don't
then
remember her doing that.
There's also the part where she was like, hey, I want to kill a bunch of rich people. So she wants to kill Bruce Wayne, despite the fact that if she did any research, she would know that the company's not doing what she thinks it is.
Well, her plan was put in action before that became a news headline, though, to be fair.
Before what?
Before Bruce told them for certain not to do that.
But like they weren't doing that. Just do some research before you kill people. And then don't kill their friends because they happen to be there at the time. But anyway,
Point being,
Lake Bell's Ivy doesn't do any of that. She chills on the couch. She talks to Ivy and Kite Man.
She has her giant plant.
Yeah, JB Smoove, the plant. It's great. I love Lake Bell. She's fantastic. And I would love for the DCEU to go for that silly version.
if they didn't cast Lake Bell, though, I would highly recommend her as a director because she has been killing it on Pam and Tommy as a director. She's really good.
Pam.
Yeah.
That's Ivy's name.
Pamela.
Anyway, aside from that, this one was tough for me because I try not to let attractiveness be a main factor in my casting.
Okay.
Because you don't want to be that guy.
Sure.
But
But
Ivy's character is based mostly on thirst. She likes plants. She likes being a thirst trap. That's Ivy's thing. So
we love to see
Yes.
it.
I thought, oh, cool, I can just cast with thirst this time. But also, you want to get someone who can act.
Yeah.
So I got Alexandra Breckenridge.
Huh. That's
And-
not where I
Right?
thought you were going to go with that at all.
I remember when you were saying, I was like, no, we're not going in the same place. But I was trying to think. I was like, Poison Ivy. What's a seductive character? And I thought, oh, yeah, I watched a season and a half of American Horror Story. And that maid, man, she was doing some things. And
I'm
Oh,
really
boy.
glad I'm not the thirsty one yet.
oh,
Yet
no.
so far.
Yeah, like if we ever talked about that show, which we won't because why would we?
Yeah.
It would get wild in here. But that whole characters thing was I have red hair and I'm a thirst trap. Poison Ivy. Add some green, add some plants, boom.
Boom.
So yeah, Alexandra Breckenridge. And also she's good at other types of roles. She was in The Walking Dead. She played a nice neighborhood woman. That's not really Ivy, but it can be, I guess. I don't know.
I just she was in one episode of Batman the Animated Series.
Right. That's funny because that one, the one where she like settles down and has
Yeah.
a family, and it turns out, oh no.
I meant to message you when I was watching that one because I was just like, okay, where's Harley to tell her that this is boring? Stop it.
It was very, and then the ending, I was like, oh, okay.
I was
But
like,
yeah.
who let Ivy become a housewife? This is boring.
But Alexandra can definitely do both sides of that. So those are my Ivies.
It's so funny. I just watched a commentary on She's the Man, and she's in that movie.
That makes sense. She's in a lot of stuff that I didn't realize she was in. I look back like, oh snap, that's the maid from American Horror Story.
Gabby, who you got? Because the reason we kept pushing back fancasting
Okay.
Poison Ivy
Oh,
is
yeah.
for you.
This was insanely hard for me. And I'm still not entirely satisfied with my choices.
Oh my gosh.
But I love Poison Ivy.
Yes, Gabby is problematic.
I am. I will have to own that because she's my favorite, and I do love that she just takes control of men with her sexuality.
A choice.
It's hilarious.
Right.
I'm especially for the time. I feel like women weren't exactly encouraged to be that sexy, and that's not the point. The point is, this was insanely hard for me, and I'm still not entirely satisfied with my choices, but I feel like I have solid picks. One of them, I was like, she fits the archetype of Poison Ivy.
Wait, who is she? Let's go. Come on.
I will
She's doing the
preface it.
preamble thing.
I will preface it. The first one, I feel like she fits the archetype in that she is a redhead and a white woman. And the
That's
second
fair.
one was pure thirst.
I love it.
Great.
Let's get thirsty.
That's all this round is, except for Colin.
Yep.
Oh,
So
that's true. Maybe. Depends who we pick.
okay. So the first one I picked is Sophie Turner.
Okay.
Because I feel like she has really good acting chops. She could do it. I believe in her.
She is white.
She was a good Jean Grey. It was just that the writing
Yeah.
was not.
No, it was
no.
not there.
That was writing. I know this. Sophie Turner.
I just
Sophie
the
Turner.
collective
Here's the thing. Sophie Turner did what Emilia Clarke did when the writing got bad for Game of Thrones. She acted her behind off, but the writing was not giving her anything.
It was not. No.
I'm not going to say that you're wrong in terms of Dark Phoenix, which was terrible,
Oof.
but she's not good in Apocalypse.
They didn't give her
Writing
anything to
aside,
do in Apocalypse.
yo, she wasn't doing nothing with anything. She just looked so bored the whole time. Like, bro,
She probably was.
there's a firebird coming out of your back. Emote. Sorry. Sophie Turner.
Sir, I think she's a good actress.
Oh, no. She's a great, Game of Thrones, she's good. The other movies she's in, she's good. Just Apocalypse, I was like, yo, they're filming, right?
Stop
Sorry.
it. You're so mean.
To be fair, Apocalypse is also pretty low on my X-Men list. So
It's low on most
That
people's
one's
X-Men
like at
lists.
the bottom.
No, Dark Phoenix is
Dark
at the
Phoenix.
bottom.
Oh, actually, see, it's Dark Phoenix.
Sorry, Sophie.
Anyway,
not her fault.
but I think she could do it. I think she could be a good, solid Poison Ivy. I think she would have good chemistry with Margot Robbie because everyone does. But also, I think they'd have tall, attractive Amazon women.
How tall is
energy.
Margot Robbie?
I was about to say,
Margot
Margot
Robbie's my height. I think 5'6", 5'7",
I'm about to go
which is
look it
above
She's not
average.
that
And then
tall.
Sophie Turner's 5'10".
I'm going to call a 5'7" woman at Amazon.
Okay, pues. I think
I thought-
average for
Especially
Talking
since
like
I'm
she's 6'3",
5'10".
like she's dunking on people.
Stop it.
Margot Robbie's 5'6".
Yeah,
That's not okay.
it's not short either though.
That's
Short to me.
average.
Well, everyone's short to you, to me.
Yeah, like she Lisa Leslie.
I'm
out here.
short to you.
Sophie Turner's the same height as me.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so basically, Sophie Turner, and my second choice is Emerald Tobia because it's Emerald.
Emerald Tobia, I'm
Tobia.
winning out here.
I need to
She
look up
is
who this
so
woman is. I
fine.
keep talking about her.
That's a thirst. That is
And
definitely a thirst choice.
Yeah, and I really wanted to pick a Latina
believe
because
it.
I love picking Latinas for things, and she's so beautiful. So I was like,
I was
oh,
gonna make a
her,
joke,
and
but-
also she could trick me and anyone into doing anything she wanted.
Yeah, with Poison Ivy being such a lust-based character, as we've mentioned already, in Shadowhunters, Emerald's character was also a pretty lusty character because
Izzy
she
is
played
trying to get the dick all the
all
time.
the time. All of the. What is her line about heels? Nothing less than 7 inches or something like that.
Oh, that's too many heels.
I
That's
mean,
too much
it's
heels.
supposed to be.
But is it
double
too much
entendre.
dick?
Is it about her heels? Is it really?
Oh, it's not.
Gabby, is it too much dick? Colin wants to know.
Listen, that was a general question. It didn't just have to be for Gabby. Audience, is that too
To
much
me?
dick?
Oh, like, who are you asking?
Okay.
Engage.
So-
Leave a comment.
I am not going
Please.
to answer that question.
Anyway, well, as I was saying, Emerald would play off the seduction very, very well, and she's a really good actress. I've really been enjoying her on With Love, which is on Amazon Prime for anybody who would like to check it out. It's really good.
well, that's next on my list.
You should watch it. You would love it, and it's only 5 episodes, and it's super short.
Ooh.
Colin,
All right, so today apparently is just a day that I'm vibing with Dallas because this took me 2 seconds to figure out because I was like, cool, I'll just cast Lake Bell because
I
she's
love
so
it.
good.
She's
I
so
love
good.
her so much. But this is where surprise bonus casting. You can't cast Poison Ivy without the love of her life. So Seth Rogen is Kite Man.
Yo.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yep.
Yo, Seth Rogen
Kite
would be
Man.
a fantastic hype man. He just has to play the dude that he plays in that one movie, Long Shot.
That's really good. I like it. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Dope. So I also chose 2 Poison Ivies, one for the DCEU because I want my girl Harley to have a girlfriend, and one for Battinson. So I'm gonna start with the DCEU one because that was my most recent choice, and I went for thirst and I went for talent. So I went for Ana de Armas,
Oh,
That
that's
makes
a
sense.
solid choice.
who is most well known for Knives Out, Blade Runner 2049, and No Time to Die. I kind of wanted a Latinx Poison Ivy, so I was like, Ana de Armas would be perfect. I was like, Black or Latinx. That's like where I was like, where my mind was at. There currently is an Asian one on Batwoman, from what I've heard, which is dope. Shout out to them.
Nice.
But yeah, I was like, Ana de Armas, of course. She's beautiful. I wanted somebody who could go toe to toe with Margot Robbie. She's, like I said, fantastic actress. She steals the show in just about any movie that she's in. She's in 10 minutes of No Time to Die, maybe 20 at tops, but I think it's less than that. But she's barely in No Time to Die, which is an almost 3-hour movie, and yet everybody was talking about her when they came out of the film. She just draws attention. She's so good.
She sure do.
Knives Out was the reason why Daniel Craig specifically chose her to be in No Time to Die.
Ooh.
He
Nice.
specifically chose her for the role of Paloma. And then, of course, Blade Runner 2049, which was the first movie probably most people ever saw her in. She, like, drew your eyes. She just was so good, and you were interested in the character, even though she's
A robot?
she's AI.
Mm-hmm.
She's not even just a robot. She's AI. She's a software, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
Completely imaginary.
Yeah, so
It's not
she's just-
imaginary. She's there. She's just not physical.
Corporal.
yeah, she's not corporal.
yeah.
That's a good word for it. She's just so good. And
Except for
like,
that one weird sex scene, she becomes kind of like
no, she's not. She's not. She's using
she's like projecting herself onto that tall
Mackenzie
white
Davis. Yeah, no,
woman. No, she's tall.
she's also mine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
She's
wait,
very tall.
Mackenzie Davis. How much taller than me is Mackenzie Davis?
I think
don't
she's like
remember.
6 feet tall.
She
isn't
might be. Anyway, point is, she's beautiful. She can pull off Ivy's seductive nature. And also, I found some fan art of her as Poison Ivy. And I was like, yep, that's it. That's the choice right there.
Fan art does make a fan cast go a little farther because I found some from Alexandra too, and I was like, ooh,
That's,
save that for later.
that's the choice.
What's up, Colin? Continue to me.
Okay.
Colin, stay away
So
from the mic.
for Battinsons, ooh, I'm about to get...
Let's
I
see it.
might get trolled on this one. So for
Wait,
Battinsons...
time out. Sorry.
Yeah.
I want to say something about Ana de Armas.
Oh, yeah.
There's a movie called Knock Knock.
Yeah.
I
I've never seen it, but I've seen clips.
haven't seen it. It looks insane.
It looks
But
wild.
it's an erotic thriller, and she
Oh.
plays a woman who seduces a dude and then I think kills him.
No.
Oh, no,
I
they-
read the
they
plot.
leave him for
I
dead.
read the plot.
Okay. Well, then, boom.
Yeah, I read the
And
plot.
it's
too.
very, very Poison Ivy, but also just Keanu Reeves
Yep.
screaming about free pizza. It's so
Oh,
funny to me.
dog. You
And
look
you know-
that movie up, and the first 2 nubile stranded women.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
It was free pizza. All right.
Fun fact. She learned all her lines for this phonetically. She didn't speak any English.
That's
Yo.
true. Yeah.
She didn't speak.
Acting.
Yeah.
Acting. She's so good at it.
And she did the same thing in War Dogs, but they caught her and then they made her learn English.
War
Oh.
Dogs is the movie that I first saw her in, and I was like, yo,
Who
who is this playing Miles Teller's girlfriend? We need to find out. The people want to know. The streets need the knowledge.
Need the name. Anyway, so my second choice, which is for Battinson's universe, this will be fun. I chose Abby Lee Kershaw, who is most well known for Lovecraft Country, The Neon Demon, and Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, scared but horny.
Is that the
The race
White-
play one.
Yep.
yeah, the white in Lovecraft Country?
Yes.
The one who's really into race play.
I
So-
hate I hate that we knew.
So anyway, she is a really good actress who I think is incredibly underrated. She's my favorite model turned actress. Her performance as Christina Braithwaite was so impressive to me because this is like, yeah, she's a very villainous character, but there's like some depth and some layers underneath all of it. She's very complex. We were not going to go into that. Dallas,
we are.
I hate you for this.
To me.
No.
To me.
No, no,
We're
no, no,
recording this during Black History Month. And you
Shut
bring
up.
that white devil up. Anyway, to me, what more about Abby Lee, please.
Anyway, yeah. So, but also there was a very seductive nature underneath Christina as well. She knew how to use her feminine wiles to get what she wanted. She was very clever, very cunning, and I felt like all those things work to the advantage of this character. Like I said, she was a model, so very beautiful, very eye-catching. Also, she brings a model walk to almost everything that she does. I don't know why Christina Braithwaite was walking like she was going down the runway, but hey, go ahead. Go ahead, girl. She looks good with red hair. I've seen pictures of her with red hair, and she looks amazing. And she tends to go for really strange roles in a similar way to Robert Pattinson, which, you know, I was like, yeah, go for it. This is kind of strange at times. And she's really good friends with Zoe Kravitz. And
Oh, nice.
yeah, so they've known each other since Fury Road, and they've been friends ever since. So that chemistry would also be there because Poison Ivy and Catwoman are occasionally friends, obviously.
Right.
And I would love to see her in more roles that'll get her more recognition by the general public in the same way that Cara Delevingne gets a lot of attention from the general public for her acting. Because I just think Abby Lee is like, she's a really good actress. Even movies that I've been like, that was okay, I've been like, her performance was really good. She's really found a passion for this craft, and I think that she's really good at it. So it would be cool to see her as a Batman villain.
I feel it.
And I feel like she would rock the look. Next character is Jonathan Crane, aka Scarecrow, ex-professor of psychology who uses a variety of drugs and psychological tactics to use the fears and phobias against adversaries. He's motivated by his desire to research the effects of fear on humans, and he uses Gotham as his test subjects. Dallas, who you got?
All right, so Scarecrow. He was pretty goofy when the DCEU started.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I am the master of fear. You will fear me. Look at this bag on my head.
That's true. He was really goofy.
Then they got a revamp when New Batman Adventure started, and he looks so dope. He looks terrifying, and he speaks very calmly and slowly. And it's like, oh, he's scary now, like he should be. So I wanted someone who can be scary but in a low key way, kind of calm.
Okay.
And I've seen Rise of the Guardians, so I picked Jude Law.
Ooh.
Because man, that dude's voice, whenever he's playing a villain, except for Captain Marvel, he wasn't really that scary in Captain Marvel. But like,
That character wasn't supposed to be scary though.
yeah, but like the way he plays Pitch in Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah.
I rewatched that sometime before we did our Throwback Thursday, and I was like, oh, that's my Scarecrow. Just the way he talks, like every word he says, it's just so kind of melodic and like almost hypnotizing and terrifying. And I feel like if you add that to the effects of whatever his drug is making you see, it would just be a really, really dope visual auditory experience.
Cool.
But yeah, Jude Law, that's my dude. That's my Scarecrow. Scared them crows.
All right. So my pick is I'll tell you in a second. But basically what I was thinking is, you know, somebody that's been playing sort of kind of off-kilter, more off-kilter comedically and off-kilter villains comedically, but it's still playing villains who I think could play this sort of unhinged doctor that's trying to scare people with his weird mask, and sort of where I would believe the sort of crazy. And so my pick is Daniel Radcliffe because he's been playing some wild ass villains recently.
I'm seeing that picture of him holding the guns and just like put a bag on his head.
Yes, guns akimbo.
Guns akimbo.
Just turn them into like syringes and
Yes.
Guns a Scarecrow. I love it. He's so weird.
Also, if it was the Pattinson universe and he's playing off against Robert Pattinson again.
Yo!
That would be
Yes.
dope.
And I feel like Daniel Radcliffe would do a great job of playing sort of this unhinged doctor. I would believe it in his eyes. He's kind of really good at playing comedically. I feel like he could do the drama though. I believe Dan. I think he could do it. I've been watching it on Miracle Workers recently, and it's like the Oregon Trail, so at some point his character gets really like just hairy and like deranged.
Right.
I'm like, yes, you can do this, Dan. I believe in you.
I feel it. I rock with it.
And that's it. That's all I have. I didn't have two choices. I just had the one.
Colin, who scares you?
so I did have the one, but like also I feel like I would put Rahul Kohli in there anyway, just because like man's good at everything he does.
He is good. I agree with this.
And he's good at Scarecrow. But my choice for Scarecrow is Orlando Jones.
Orlando Jones. Okay,
Come
so
on.
here's the
Mhm.
thing. In my head, every time I hear this, I have to think Brown or Jones, because Orlando Brown is Eddie from That's So Raven, and I think
Orlando Jones is from Drumline.
yeah. So I think Jones or Brown, which one? These are
Fine.
both
Flight of the
names
Bumblebee,
that
Flight of
black
the
people
Bumblebee.
have. But yeah, I like that choice a lot. Also, Orlando Jones's Twitter bio says, "Not the little boy from Everybody Hates Chris, not Orlando Brown, not Solange Knowles, not Joanna Man, not Jeff Goldblum in blackface, not Mos Def."
I think what's funny is that now he's playing the kid off of Everybody Hates Chris's daddy.
Oh
That's
yeah, he
true.
is.
That's so funny.
Oh.
But yeah, good choice, Colin.
Thanks.
He's great.
Mainly I'm thinking about the one big scene he had in season 1 of American Gods that like I
was so good.
still think is one of the best things I've ever seen.
It's so good, and I'm so mad at them because I continue to watch that show because of that scene.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, he's coming back. I can't wait for his episode. Then I waited and I waited and I waited.
I think he came back in the next season, but
Yeah, and then
at
they just
that
got rid of
point.
him. I was like, come on, guys. But yeah, that was a really dope scene.
But
He was
he's
really
just-
good at it.
He's real good, and I think he could definitely be scary if he wanted to be.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
Especially because he kind of plays an intimidating sort of almost towards scary leader in Drumline. Like he reminded me of some
That's not
music
what I
teachers
thought
that
that
I
was
was like vague, but he does. He's like
Just
very
picturing Whiplash but with the drum.
Drumline.
Orlando from Drumline. What's the concept? One band, one sound. So he just throws a drum at Nick Cannon's face.
like he reminded me a lot of my like more stoic music teachers. So I feel like he could do it. I feel like he could lean towards the scary a little bit more.
To me, we gotta make that. We gotta make Whiplash Drumline. Instead of making the team look
we were gonna
bad.
do a throwback for Drumline.
We have to. I think it turns 20 this year.
We have
We'll
to
have to
watch.
look- we'll have to look
Please,
at our
can we watch
schedule.
that together?
Oh, we
Oh,
have to
yes.
watch it together.
Instead of making the team look bad, you made yourself look like a jackass. And he just starts punching him in the face.
He just has to like summon J.K. Simmons from Whiplash.
Oh
Right.
my gosh.
Oh, the black. Oh, I love it. I want this to be a thing.
Oh no. I don't know how I feel about that.
Hit him with the flight of the bumblebee.
Is the flight of the bumblebee the bumblebee's the name of the drum?
He just locks him in a room with a bunch of angry bees. Oh, I love
Oh God, that's scary.
We've gotten so far off track.
it.
All right.
All right.
So my choice for Scarecrow is Tom Pelphrey, who is most well known for Iron
Oh.
Fist, Ozark, and Mank.
Yo, that nigga's so good.
He's so good.
He is so good. Oh my God.
Yes.
He's scary.
He's so good.
He, in my opinion, was one of the best parts of Iron Fist from day one. His character was so antagonistic in the beginning, and so he would be a really good villain. I've never seen Ozark. I've only heard Dallas speak great things of Tom Pelphrey's performance in Ozark.
Incredible.
His
So
performance was
good.
apparently so good that Dallas didn't realize that was the same dude from Iron
didn't.
Fist.
I really didn't.
Yeah, so
Acting.
Acting.
So obviously he's a very good actor. I think he'd be believable as like a psychologist. Like you would take him seriously as, yeah, this dude one time was a psychologist. I believe it. He's proper and laced up tightly or whatever. But also as a man who is somewhat insane himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he did kind of both sides of that on Iron Fist.
All right.
So yeah, I think that he would pull it off really well. I really like Tom Pelphrey in Iron Fist, which is funny to say because Iron Fist, I was like, yeah, that was fine. But he was great in it, and I would love to see him in more stuff. So yeah, Tom Pelphrey is my choice for the Scarecrow.
So I didn't watch. How many seasons did it get? 2? Iron Fist?
2.
I didn't watch season 2 of Iron Fist, but I watched Ozark, and he was so good. I thought maybe I do want to watch Iron Fist. Like, maybe I need to go back and revisit that because this dude is so good at acting. It's frightening.
Well, as I said, season 2 was much better than season 1,
So I've heard.
but still nothing compared to the rest of the Netflix Marvel shows.
Also heard that, except for from Colin, because he's the difference.
That's fair. He really likes Iron Fist for what it is.
This is true. I feel like it got a lot of hate that it did not deserve.
Fair.
Maybe.
I mean, all right. I feel like he got hate that it did deserve, and then they got hate that it didn't deserve. But that's a conversation for another
That's
time.
a whole different conversation. Last character on our list, Oswald Cobblepot, a.k.a. the Penguin. Now, first and foremost, we are aware that this character showed up in The Batman. You guys probably heard our review for The Batman, and if you didn't, what are you waiting for? Go click on that after you're done listening to this.
See.
But we're casting him for the DCEU because the DCEU doesn't have a penguin. So, Oswald Cobblepot, a criminal mastermind and often a member of high society. In his childhood, he was treated as an outcast due to his short stature, obesity, and bird-like nose. He's usually in the mafia, so, that's why Batman's after him. Dallas, who'd you choose?
All right. I wanted someone who can play a scumbag, someone who can play a criminal, someone who's not too tall. So, Paul Giamatti. Why not?
Yeah.
I feel like
dude.
he's a really good actor.
That's a good
And
one.
there's just, you look at him, and you're up to no good, sir. I
And
can
he
tell.
could play scary. Like he's good at scary.
Yeah, he's like all the different kinds of villain that I would need Oswald Cobblepot to be. Like, he's a scumbag in Straight Outta Compton, and then he's an inexplicably cartoonish Russian in Spider-Man, which doesn't really come into play here. I just love bringing it up because why? Why did they do that with him?
Why was he there?
Right, of all the people, whatever.
It was a waste.
It was a waste, but
Well, they were setting something up that never came to be.
true, and then that didn't happen. But yeah, Giamatti's really good. I don't need to say a lot. You know he can act. He's been acting forever.
I hear his name and I always just think Big Fat Liar.
Right, even from the Big Fat Liar days. Like, he's been doing that up to no good character for so long.
Yeah.
In so many different ways. I just want to see him do it as the Penguin. Give him a little top hat and a tuxedo. Put him in the Iceberg Lounge. Which you think would be Mr. Freeze's place, but it's not. It's Penguin's.
I mean,
It's true.
Mr. Freeze ain't got a
the
place.
theme. He went with the nickname.
Penguins, though.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Ice. It's just you got a character who does ice.
What does Mr. Freeze just like freeze a hotel room? Like, what does he do?
No, his suit keeps him
No,
cold. He
he's-
doesn't need the room to be cold.
He's always
Okay.
in the
Yeah,
suit.
that's why.
I think it was. Oh yeah, I
He's
think
like
it was
a
the
Bubble Boy
Arkham games
situation.
where I
They
think
freeze
Arkham
his cell.
City, his section of the city is cold for no good reason.
Well, he likes it cold.
Yeah, but like, why? Your henchmen don't.
Forget
So?
them.
Well, I was saying like you.
People care
if
about
the
henchmen?
suit has
He's
it.
like, I'm
Niggas
the
make
one
minimum
in
wage.
the disease with the issue, where I have to be cold.
Yeah.
So is he just walking around naked in the?
No,
He
he's like a
probably
Bubble
wears
Boy.
clothes,
I
Colin.
think
Why
he's
is
a
this your line
Bubble
of
Boy.
questioning?
He
I
might
think
have
he's like a Bubble Boy
he
situation.
might have like Under Armour on.
You mean in the suit? Is he naked?
Well, no, but I mean like if he cools down a place
Mhm.
sufficiently,
Mhm.
let's
Can he
say,
just
which I doubt
exist?
that he does. I don't think he actually could because then everyone would be dead.
Well, he has in comics. He has like iced up entire neighborhoods.
Is that enough to make him? I thought he needed to be like super, 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 super cold, like colder than a human being could be and survive.
I think he just can't be a certain level of warm.
I think he can't be room temperature.
That's
Man, it sounds so weak. I can't be room temperature, man.
that's
If I go into a room, I die.
my weakness is
I think what's funny
The
is
outside.
me and
My
Dallas
Weakness
both.
is normalcy.
I think what's funny is me and Dallas both actually really like the character of Mr. Freeze,
Oh, he's dope.
but we are
Just like the way he can't be room
We be
temperature. Like, nigga, you can't be room temperature? Everything is room temperature.
we be roasting characters, man. We be roasting people on this. On
Don't
this
roast him;
podcast.
he'll literally
He will
die.
That's a good one. That was a good one.
Cold as ice, Colin.
Yeah, man. Sometimes I gotta throw the lob up, man.
All right, Gabby, you're next, right?
No,
Oh,
wait, yes,
Yeah.
because
Yes.
you went.
Who's
Yes.
your penguin?
Oswald Cobblepot. I wanted somebody on the shorter end. This person's not like he's not like Danny DeVito short, but he's still pretty short. Well, for a man, not for a human woman.
Yeah, your height scales are a little off today.
Yeah,
You
I'm
call
so
Margot
sorry.
Robbie in Amazon. She like
5'6".
5 and a
She's
half
5'6". I don't know why I thought she was taller. Anyway, so I was like somebody short-ish. She's not really that short, And also that I know can do some drama, although he's not really known for drama. He's known more for comedy. But my pick is Zach Galifianakis.
interesting.
Mostly from his performance in It's Kind of a Funny Story, because he played a very sad character. And I was like, okay, if he could play that, then I think he could play, much more other drama. He's known more for comedy, but comedians tend to be very good at drama anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, my pick's Zach Galifianakis.
I can see that. He played the Joker in Lego Batman. So why not do Penguin?
Yeah,
Kinda
that
like-
was a
kinda-
silly Joker.
It was super silly.
Well, I mean, Zoe Kravitz played Catwoman in Lego Batman,
That's
so
true. And then look what happened with her.
now she's Catwoman.
She's getting
Mind blown.
digged down on the Batmobile.
I can't believe you brought up that rumor.
I mean,
Wait, what?
Why not?
There's a rumor?
Yeah,
What?
Colin, who's your bird?
My penguin is Toby Jones.
Oh,
I've seen him cast as Penguin a lot. He'd be a good one.
Yeah, I just feel like he played a character on Doctor Who was really creepy. He played Zola. Like, it just makes sense to me. I think he could absolutely pull
Not
this
the
off.
stripper Zola, the
So,
No,
yeah,
Zola.
I know who you're talking
The
about.
I want the
Marvel-
audience to know.
I love that there
the
are
Nazi Zola.
now two different Zolas, and we've mentioned both of them in the same podcast.
He's
is
talking
Zola
about
done.
Red Skull. Like, you want to hear about how me and
This is a great pick.
Thank you.
right? But yeah, he's a really good actor. I don't want to say he's penguin-y, but he fits the role.
He gives the vibe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Penguin vibes. He doesn't look like a flightless bird.
That's
Anything
nice.
else, Colin?
That said, they could also just bring back Danny DeVito.
Yo, for real.
Just make him less
Cartoony.
horny, and I think I'd be more down.
I mean, with Michael Keaton coming back as
Right, you
as
could bring
Batman,
Penguin with him.
You could.
Oh no, don't bring that penguin. He's gross.
No, not that penguin.
Not him.
But like,
Well,
I don't
we
want-
If
don't.
you're gonna
the
bring Danny
actor
Well,
back.
we
DeVito,
still
you
don't
gotta
know.
bring back Penguin.
I just don't want him talking about filling voids. That's all
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying.
that was
Well,
not,
here's the
that
thing,
was
we
just
also-
to listen to.
We don't know if Michael Keaton is actually going to be like.
that Batman.
Is it going to be like actual Tim Burton Batman has moved over into this new universe, or is it
I
just
would
going to
assume
be?
it's kind of weird if it's not.
What if he's like a mixture of Batfleck and Burton Batman? I don't know. We'll find out.
But also, the way they did Jamie Foxx's Electro, that's a different person.
Well,
So
yeah.
you could just do that with
Yeah,
Danny
exactly.
DeVito.
Right? Like, are they going to write him the exact same way, or is this just like a new
I feel like
iteration?
you wouldn't write him like that in 2022. Like,
I mean, I'm not actually gonna say what I was thinking. Never mind. So
Talk about filling voids and.
Yeah,
I wasn't talking about Penguin. I was talking about Batman. But
Oh, gotcha.
yeah. Anyway, my choice is way too tall for this, but
We can make it work.
fine. We know.
They made it work with Wolverine.
They made 6'2" like dwarves work.
Also, I
and-
don't think Colin Farrell is super short, but that's not the point. The
No.
point is,
Did
my
you
guy is
pick Doug Jones? Like, damn.
no. I actually I picked Vince Vaughn, who
Oh,
is-
he's 6'5". He's a gigantic
He is-
man.
Notably a tall man.
he is.
Okay, listen, it's fine. Just change the name to Emperor Penguin, and we're good with it.
That works.
Oh, that's
That
But
works.
anyway, I chose Vince Vaughn, who's most well known for the breakup, freaky, fighting with my family, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a whole dodgeball, a whole bunch of other movies. You guys know this guy. He's
I
way
love
too
him.
tall for this role.
He is.
But something about him gives me the confidence that he could pull off the Oz energy. I think he could play Oswald Cobblepot.
That's such an interesting choice.
Like he's
Yeah.
so funny,
He is very funny.
but also he can do the dramatic.
That's true.
So
as
I
well.
know he could do both. I don't know. There's something. Penguin's a weird character because
Mhm.
there's definitely like an energy that you're looking for, and I can't quite describe what it is. It's like how I described him earlier. Like, yeah, he's from high society,
Yeah.
but he's an outcast of high society. He doesn't fit in simply because of his looks. So
Yeah.
there's something about that says like this is a character who would probably be trying his hardest to fit in as much as possible, but he can't change anything about himself. And I feel like Vince Vaughn could pull off a character like that with a bit of humor, but also with the amount of drama that you need.
I feel it.
Also, wanted somebody who's around Ben Affleck's age, like I did last time when I was casting Riddler. I wanted somebody who looked like he had fought Batman in his prime.
And they mentioned that in one of those movies. Alfred says something about exploding penguins.
Yeah.
So it's happened.
Yeah. So, I wanted somebody who was around the same age range. Vince Vaughn is entirely too tall, as I've said. But
I'm just picturing like Alfred says like, oh, one misses the times when our biggest problems were exploding penguins. And then Ben Affleck like, man, that nigga was tall.
oh my goodness. But yes, those are all the characters that we are fan casting for today. Those are our Bat villains.
I have a director and a writer.
Other than Matt Reeves, okay.
Yeah, so at
Or
first
is this a DCEU?
let's do DCEU.
Cool.
Yeah, at first it was just writer because I was like, I do want to see what Matt Reeves
Does.
does. Unfortunately, we're recording this before I see what Matt Reeves does. So I took a leap because I have this theory that people who make animated superhero content would make it well in live action. And I know that it's a very different medium.
It is.
So I don't have any reason to believe that they would work, but I want to see it. So my directors are Eric Radomski and Bruce Timm because they created Batman the Animated Series and the wide DC animated universe.
I'll allow it if the Batman Batgirl stuff can stay away.
I was just gonna ask.
Yes, so Bruce Timm is not my writer, but also I don't want him to do that. But also they directed Mask of the Phantasm. And that
Which
movie is
the
animated.
best Batman.
Yes. That movie is animated, but it is technically feature length. So I
Yes,
want
it
to
is.
see if they can pull off a live action something.
Yeah,
My
I'm not,
writer.
not gonna lie. I was 2 seconds away from like bonus casting an Andrea for Phantasm
Oh,
because
she's so good.
I love her so much. But Batman has so many rogues. We'll probably have another set of these, so who knows?
Sure. We'll throw in all kind of people.
Yep.
Condiment King.
Who knows? Check out Batgirl, and we'll see what happens.
True. My writer is Paul Dini because he is a developer of Batman the Animated Series as
Yep.
well as the head writer. And he's a head writer for pretty much all of the DC animated stuff, which is all great. But he wrote Heart of Ice, the Emmy-nominated one that gave us Mr. Freeze as a serious character, even though he can't survive in room temperature. He wrote Harley and Ivy, the reason that so many fangirls want to see them together. He wrote Almost Got 'Em. Demi, I think you're the only one who knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
He wrote the Zatanna episode,
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Harlequinade,
Mm.
Deep Freeze, the one where Ivy is a housewife.
That is an episode. That was.
Yeah, he's written a lot of the Ivy stuff.
She almost had me fooled. I was like, girl, you really living this boring life out
Right?
here?
And he wrote the one where all the villains put Batman on trial.
Yes,
Arkham,
that was a good
and
one.
it's such a good one. Like, a lot of the best episodes are written by Paul Dini, and I want him to just continue writing for Batman. So yeah, those are my directors and my writers, the people who did the animated ones, because the animated ones are better.
Again, thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah,
See.
we had a fun time. I don't know how much of that is staying in, because we said a lot of stuff today, and Demi doesn't want to let me have fun.
That's not true. I let you have fun. Now, will other people experience that fun is a different
Right,
story
I want to experience
altogether.
fun with you guys, audience. Get in the comments and say, Demi, stop hating.
I'm not hating. I'm just I'm protecting future reputations.
Everybody knows I don't really think Abby Lee is a white devil. Her character was a white devil.
Her character was a white
Yeah.
devil.
She knows that. All right. Thanks to Crown Digital, Brandon, and I for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To me, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, and being here to get my references to the animated series because these two heathens haven't watched it.
Listen,
we
as
haven't.
much
I'm
time as I've
uncultured
spent,
swine.
It's true.
as much time as I've spent trying to catch up, it was only fair.
Fair. Gabby, thank you for jumping on the thirst train as you do.
Woo.
I joined you today. Wasn't that fun?
I know.
You got
You
a
were
thirst partner.
so thirsty.
There was a
And
lot of
Demi did
thirsting.
too, maybe. I don't know how much
Sorry.
hers is going to be on there.
So you're
Visually, I was.
both riding the train?
Stop it
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're riding that Ivy train.
Riding the train together.
Mm-hmm.
For different Ivies.
You and Gabby.
Stop that.
Anyway, Colin, thank you for vibing with me on our Clayface and Ivy picks. And, picking black people because we needed that.
Yeah.
What do you think of our villain choices, audience? Who would you pick for these movies, these characters, these villains? Who's got you thirsting? Are you curious to see what Demi cut out? I bet you are. It's really fun.
You'll never know.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different or Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast or Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. As always, if you want to talk about the DCEU, I'm here. Find me on Twitter and or Instagram at A King Named Simba.
Hi, I'm Gabby. You can find me on the Instagrams at Stegosoria.
You can find me on Twitter at Duck McGuck.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. Thanks again for joining us. Next time we will be doing a review for Pixar's Turning Red. And I might be reviewing Pam and Tommy.
Ooh.
It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
Colin.
Yes?
So you mentioned something about a train.
Yes.
Stop.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Dallas, as you taught me, there is a certain term, a sexual term, let's say, that involves trains. And if you and Gabby are riding a train together, I have so many questions I can't even begin to tell you, and we don't have time.
Oh, God, no.